Welcome. Come on in. Come on in. It's time for Wealthy You Wind Down. Come on in and in the chat, let me know where you're from. Come on in. It's time for Wealthy You Wind Down. And it's a new year. Thank goodness it's a new year. So, welcome everybody. It is 2022 and it's time to really lean in and start setting your intentions. And in a minute, I'm going to share with you just what we're going to be doing to support you in this. So come on in and in the chat, let me know where you're from, and so that I can greet you, give you some shout outs. And I'd love in the chat if you could, in one word, just set your intention for this year. And in a little bit, I'm going to be sharing what my intention for this year is all about. So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Wealthy You Wind Down Wednesdays. Woohoo! Also, want to invite you to, while you're coming in, if this is your first time, what I want you to know is this is Wealthy You Wind Down. So, I want to invite you to take a few minutes, get your favorite adult beverage. I certainly have mine sitting here nearby because I also want to toast you because this is Wealthy You Wind Down. So come on in. So glad to see all of you. We're streaming on a few platforms this evening. So welcome to my folks in IG land as well. And come on into our intimate setting. Well. Wealthy You Wind Down Wednesdays, kicking it off on our first Wednesday of the new year. I don't know about y'all, but in the chat, let me know. Are y'all glad to see 2021 go? I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm having deja vu right now. This actually is starting to remind me of how we started out 2020. Yeah, I didn't make a mistake. 2020. You guys remember 2020 when everybody was getting sick and nobody knew why? Well, the truth is that COVID is back in its new form, and it seems to be more contagious than anything. And so I really want to talk about why I feel like it's deja vu back in 2020, back in 2020 when all these things are happening. But what was really, really interesting about that time was many of the women who started in Wealthy You in 2020 is when I launched our Wealthy You Society, our group coaching program. And 2 years later, we see many of those women have two times, three times, 5x their wealth, their investments, their net worth over that time frame. And one of the points that I was making is it is in these times of uncertainty when we're very fearful that if you have the right perspective, that real financial gains and real opportunities present themselves. But what that requires, and I really want to talk about that tonight, is that what that requires is really being able to see an equivalent benefit in adversity. I quoted it a little earlier, and I'll be talking a little bit about all the things that we have coming up in 2022. Man, we're so excited about some of our new launches for this year, and I'm certainly going to be talking about one that is coming up very quickly. We're only 5 days away, and if you aren't getting into what we're up to, then you're gonna miss one of your greatest opportunities. So come on in, ladies. Let me know what your intention is for this year. Set your intention. My intention, my intention is really to see uh, a seed of a seed opportunity in these problems and in these chaos, and really help all of the members in Wealthy You understand that this too shall pass, but also so will the opportunity. So here's all I'm going to say is that opportunities are not lost. They're not. Opportunities are not lost. They just go to other people if you don't take advantage of them. And so that's why in the beginning of this year, we're going to set that intention of having a wealth mindset and seeing opportunities where problems present themselves, right? So in Wealthy You, we really look at it from the perspective that there are opportunities in the problems that present themselves. So welcome everybody. I'm Deborah Owens. I am founder and CEO of Wealthy You, where we help women build their first investment portfolios to 7 figures and beyond. That 7 figures and beyond, that's right. And the other amazing outcome from 2021 is we've had several women go past 7 figures on to 1.5. And hey, there some of our members are now running for their first multi-million, and then many running for that 8-figure number. And so the question I have that I pose to all of you is that it does not matter where you start. What matters is where you finish. Because the other exciting thing about Wealthy You is that we've had several women hit their first 6 figures, and we've had several women hit their multiple six figures. We've had several women pay off a significant amount of debt this year. And if you've attended any of our master classes, you certainly have heard their stories, right? In real life, right? In real life. And so the point that I want to make, and that I often make as someone who has seen the ups and downs over the decades of the market, is that to have a wealth mindset, it doesn't matter if the market goes up or down, because real wealth is built over time. And I had an opportunity to interview one of our Wealthy You goal models today for a project that we're working on that I'm going to talk about a little bit later, because it's coming at us fast. And one of the things that she kept saying that I thought was so profound is that she has slow walked her way to wealth, right? That sometimes things can become overwhelming, but what she's learned how to do is slow walk. And so that is really the secret, if you will, to building wealth, is that wealth is not built overnight. Any wealth that lasts is not built overnight. It's built over time. So come on in, ladies. Come on in. Let's have a conversation this evening. I want to raise a glass to all of you in this new year. It's Wealthy You Wine Down, and it wouldn't be the same without a glass of wine, right? I'm drinking, what else? A Cabernet Sauvignon. And I think this is a Sterling from Napa Valley. So I'll begin by giving a toast to all of you. So, okay, let's talk about everything that we have coming up in this new year. Well, the most important thing that I want to talk about in this new year is that the most important thing that I want to talk about in this new year is our amazing challenge that we have coming up. That's what's coming up. And that's what I reveal to all of you, that I want to reveal to all of you. During this time of year, uh, it's the new year. And let me just ask the question, how many of you have set the intention of 2022 being the year that you come out on top with your finances and that you really accelerate your financial growth? Let me know in the chat how many of you are setting the intention that this is going to be the year, right, that you overcome and that you accelerate your financial growth and that you get on the right track. How many of you have set that intention? Well, that's why every year we begin with our 5-day Savvy Money Makeover Challenge. So if you have participated in that challenge before, let me know that in the chat, right? How many of you have been through our 5-day Savvy Money Makeover Challenge? Some of you have been through it one time, right? Some of you have been through it twice. Some of you, because I see your names when you join the challenge. Some of you have been through it 3 times or more. And in fact, I would say that many of our Wealthy You ambassadors who are here, who support the women during that challenge, they too participate in the challenge several times or more. And so what is a little technical thing there, but at any rate, here's what I want you to know is that even if you have participated in the past, you're going to want to join this challenge because we have really up leveled it. And this challenge is really designed to help you get on the path of accelerating your financial growth and building your portfolio to 7 figures and beyond. So whether you participated in the past or whether this is going to be your first time, I want to just kind of give you a sense of why this 5-day Savvy Money Makeover Challenge is so important and what you can anticipate happening during 5 days. Typically, we go more than 5 days because I have a, what do I want to say? I love doing, there's going to be a bonus training that all of you will be able to apply to attend. And it is really designed to put you on the right path and give you a jump start. So in the chat, let me know how many of you are ready to get your jump start in this new year and set the intention of taking ownership of your financial success. How many of you are ready for that? If you are in the chat, let me know just by saying, yes, that's me. I'm ready to go to the next level. I'm ready for that jump start, and I'm ready to to join the 7-figure sisterhood in Wealthy You and other like-minded women who are just like you, who are slow walking, as one of our Wealthy You Gold models said in her interview earlier. So if that is you, then here's what I want you to do. Our 5-day Savvy Money Makeover Challenge begins on January 10th. That is next Monday. It is Wednesday, so that means 5 days from now. So what I want all of you to do, whether you're on Instagram or whether you're watching this on Facebook or whether you're in our Zoom, in our Wealthy You community, what I want you to do is to sign up for the challenge, and we'll put that link and make it available. If you're on Instagram, then you can just go to my bio profile and click on LinkedIn and join that challenge. Now, here's why this is important, ladies. It's important that you not only set the intention, but one of the learnings and the insight that I gained after launching our Wealthy You Society, our group coaching program, is just the power of community, the power of accountability and support, and the power of being with other like-minded women who have set the same intention. So it in Wealthy You, it is our curriculum that basically is the framework of creating that success, because we actually teach you how to analyze and research stocks, how to analyze and research mutual funds, how to build an investment portfolio properly, how to take calculated risk. So it's not, here's what I want you to know, is that Wealthy You is not a course. Our programs are not courses, they are programs. And they're 12-month programs, and they're designed that way so that you're able to build your wealth muscle. Now, how do you build that wealth muscle? You build it just like you build a physical muscle, right? Like, you can't just go pick up a weight and move it up and down and expect tomorrow that you're going to have a bicep, right? Like a powerful bicep. No, you have to do it over time. And as you gain muscle, right, what do you have to do? You have to put on more weight, right, in order to become stronger. Well, that's the same way the process works in Wealthy You. That in order for you to really build a portfolio that stands the test of time, you have to skill build, right? You have to do drills. And our drills are our skill building sessions that we do every week. We have skill building and analyzing and researching stocks, analyzing and researching mutual fund, building a stopwatch list, creating your own, finding your determining what your wealth gap is, understanding what investment opportunities, levers you need to pull. All that is going on within our Wealthy You society. And sometimes, it's just like anything you start, you may feel like it's overwhelming. But when you break these things down into little pieces, one of the other things we have are milestones. Like, first, you got to know where you are, right? Know your current situation. And then once you know your current situation, you can figure out a strategy through which you can then execute on. So in Wealthy You, we call that mindset. And that's what we're going to spend a lot of time on in the 5-day Savvy Money Makeover. Because the truth is, so much of what we've been taught about what it really means, what it really will take to achieve financial independence, could not be further from the truth. So those are some of the things that we're going to cover in the 5-day Savvy Money Makeover Challenge. And I want to make sure that you sign up, right? So you can go to our Wealthy You community to sign up. You can go to wealthyouchallenge.com, just wealthyouchallenge.com, and you can sign up in that manner too. So in just a bit, I'm going to be talking about exactly what we're going to cover in the 5-day Savvy Money Makeover Challenge. So yes, we are going to set your intention for what this year is going to be like for you this year. If you're going to set the intention of really allowing your financial, taking ownership of your finances, then that's exactly what you want to do. Okay, so for those of you who just joined, I'm Deborah Owens. I am founder and CEO of Wealthy You, also known as America's Wealth Coach. And in Wealthy You, we teach women how to build their investment portfolios to 7 figures and beyond so that they can achieve the level of financial success they desire and they deserve. And we do it in a very rigorous way. But guess what? We have a lot of fun too. And that is what Wealthy You Wind Down is about. So come in and join us. And don't forget to join the 5-day Savvy Money Makeover Challenge. So let me just take a breath for just a minute, and hopefully I'm going to see if I can get some water as well. But one of the the things I'm really, really excited about and I wanted to share with you tonight is, guess what we just did? We just had our first commercial produced, and I'm so, so excited about it. It is going to be airing around the country, and it is focused on helping, really kind of showcasing wealthy youth, but also allowing other folks to see the kind of success that many of the women in wealthy youth are achieving. So if you haven't seen our new commercial, you can take a sneak peek by joining us, our Facebook Wealthy Youth community, until our commercial actually starts airing, and that will start airing within the next couple of weeks. So we're really, really excited about that. But guess what? Guess what? There's more. There's more. We are really, really excited because we have a new program about to launch. And it is going to be launching on the Black Star Network. And the Black Star Network is a network being curated by one of my good friends, Roland Martin. So many of you may have remembered that Wealthy You had a recurring segment on News One Now for many, many years. Now, Roland Martin, if you haven't watched him on Roland Unfiltered, most of you probably know who Roland Martin is, formerly on CNN. But he is launching this new this new network, and we're really, really excited about it. So what I want you to do in preparation for our new show launching, and I'll give you the date as soon as it's launching. I want you to go to the Black Star Network, go to the App Store and download the Black Star Network. So download the Black Star Network app so that when this program launches, you get first access to it. So we're really, really excited about that. Again, we got a lot coming up in 2022, and our focus really is helping 1 million Black women get to $1 million in net worth. Why is that important? That's important because one of the things I often say about the wealth gap, right? And we hear about it a lot, the fact that the wealth gap for African American women in particular is, I'm not even going to say large, I'm going to say it's a gulf, it's wide. And so why is that? You know, one of the first things that we talk about in Wealthy You is mindset. And so much of that mindset, our mindset about money, our beliefs, our attitudes about money, specifically are related to how we were raised. And many of us have already developed our beliefs about money, get this, by the time we are 8 years old. So the truth is that our knowledge about wealth, how to invest, how that is adopted, right? That knowledge is inherited. Agree or disagree with me on that? How many of you agree with me that that investment knowledge is inherited? If someone in your family, or if your family didn't have a trusted financial advisor, then you probably did not get access to the knowledge of how to invest and build wealth. In the chat, agree or disagree with me? Because here's what I want you to know is that the reason that that wealth gap is so wide is because, you know, back in the day, if you wanted to invest, you had to have $10,000 or more just to invest in a mutual fund. But here's what I didn't realize and what I have discovered since launching Wealthy You in 2015 is that in spite of the financial success that so many Black Americans have achieved, even if they have hundreds of thousands of dollars, when they reach out to financial services institutions, because they don't have intergenerational relationships in the finance industry or access to a family office, or aren't necessarily viewed as high net worth individuals in spite of how much income they have, right? They're relegated into investments that are driven by algorithms, and many times those investments perform a lot less than what some of the high net worth investments are available to people who have this high net worth, what do I want to say, socioeconomic status, right? Who would agree or disagree with me on that? So what I learned is that many of you are reaching out to these financial institutions, and yet you still aren't getting access to this information. And the only way you'll have access to that information is a trusted friend or a trusted advisor actually gave you access to that information. And so that is the reason that we launched Wealthy You. The reason we launched Wealthy You was really to give that access to the knowledge that you've never had. So let me just, yes, I'm sounding a little raspy, so let me take a little water here. So in the chat, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are, or your comments are on that. Okay, so here's a question I have for you. For those of you who have a college degree, multiple college degrees, many of you have, question I have for you is, did you learn about the financial markets, how to analyze and research stocks, how to build a portfolio through your formal education? That's the question I have for you. Did you learn any of that? And some of you went to 4 years of undergrad, 2 years of graduate school. Some of you might even have an advanced degree, a medical degree, and you come out and you have, in many cases, a lot of student loan debt, but you did not acquire the most valuable asset of all, and that was the knowledge, right, of how to take full advantage of the financial markets and how they work, and specifically learn how to turn your income into wealth, right? The truth is, we are not taught that. And so that's why helping 1 million Black women get to $1 million in net worth is so critical. And it's not the money that's the most valuable asset that they will acquire. The most valuable asset they will have acquired is the knowledge of how to build that investment portfolio. How many of you would agree with me on that? That it's not the money itself, it's the knowledge of how to create it. So why am I, kind of on my soapbox now? Because that's why I want you to join the 5-Day Savvy Money Makeover Challenge, so you can get access to the insight of how to do that. Because we are going to methodically be breaking it down step by step. In fact, in day 1, you're really going to take an assessment. And that assessment is basically going to tell you whether or not you are on track to achieve 7 figures and beyond. So it's sort of like a doctor, right? You go in, he just doesn't say, oh, this is what's wrong with you, right? He has to take an assessment. And so that's the first thing that we're going to do in our 5-Day Savvy Money Makeover Challenge. You're going to see the gap, your own personal wealth gap, and it doesn't matter how wide, because here's what I want you to know, is that we have had women in a negative net worth situation have all kinds of student loan debt, you all kinds of credit card debt, have made every mistake in the book. And when they hear the insights that you're going to hear during the 5-Day Savvy Money Makeover, they're saying, "Oh my goodness, I did everything you said wrong," right? And what I tell them is, you never lose. You never lose. You only learn, right? The truth is, you never lose. You only learn. And so if you're willing to lean in and not be fearful of what you may discover, you cannot change what you will not acknowledge. So that's what that first day is going to be about, right? You really discovering what's in your purse and what your wealth gap, and you're going to be taking an assessment. And then on this day 2, that's when the rubber is going to meet the road. And that's when you're going to do your savvy 7-figure makeover. And that's when I'm going to share with you that many of you are standing 10 feet away from goal. You just don't have any idea what you're looking at. And so we're going to do a 7-figure money makeover. And then I'm going to be showing you how so many of you have everything you need to be and do everything you need to do and be, right? Everything you need to do and be, if you will just take the time, right, to get a little more intentional about the income that you do have coming in, right? So that's day 2. So day 3, it's all about, oh, and by the way, here's the really, really cool thing about the 5-Day Savvy Money Makeover is you're going to meet women who would have been through a 5-Day Savvy Money Makeover themselves, had joined Wealthy You, and they're going to be sharing their transformation over the first 1 year, 2 year, or 3 year, or however long they've been in Wealthy You. And they're going to show you how they apply the concepts that we're going to be sharing in the 5-Day Savvy Money Makeover, and literally 2x, 3x the growth of their investments in their portfolio. So it's not enough to just find the money. For so many of you, the reason that you're not further ahead is because you haven't been making your money work for you. So day 3 is all about accelerating your financial growth and identifying what your investment opportunity levers. Now I know this might sound a little technical for you, but the bottom line is you are going to begin to learn exactly what you need to do. Because here's what I want you to know is everybody's situation is different, right? Like everybody's situation is different. And it is in that difference that you actually find your opportunity, right? I want you to get what I just said, is that everybody has had different experiences, work for different companies, have different skill sets. And when you begin to identify how you can differentiate that differentiation, right? How you can create value, the opportunity that's in that is your secret. That is your secret to accelerating your financial growth. And we talk a lot about investment opportunity levers in Wealthy You. And then in day 4 is a fun day because you're actually going to build a 7-figure portfolio. We have our portfolio challenge, and you're going to get into a room with other women. You're going to get into breakout groups, and you're actually going to build an investment portfolio, and you're going to see how you have been standing 10 feet away from gold, because all those companies that you buy goods and services from, uh, that are, in your cupboard, that are, when you get in your car every day, you're going to see that many of those companies are companies that you could invest in and that you could build a portfolio for your future that will grow. One of our Wealthy You Go models, I was interviewing her for our new television show that we're launching, and she said something so profound that even the producers were like, "What?" Yeah, I mean, literally, she learned how to analyze and research stocks, and because, again, her unique investment opportunity lever, because of the field that she's in, she became more inquisitive about some of the vendors and the relationships that they had, and that allowed her to then analyze and research some of those companies, and that is how she was able to achieve, I want you guys to hear this, a 84% return on her investment. I almost fell out of my chair. I was like, well, child, I need to have you managing my portfolio, right? So here's what I want you to understand is that when you get the insight and the knowledge that you need to be able to discern and take calculated risk, then building a portfolio to 7 figures and beyond does not seem like this pipe dream, right? But here's the caveat that I want to put on this. The women in Wealthy You who achieve the most success and go the further, the fastest, what do you think they all have in common? In the chat, I'd love for you to put what you think. What do you think the women who have had the most success in Wealthy You, what are the attributes that they display that allows them to achieve those kind of results? In the chat, I'd love it if you would just one word. Tell me what you think it is. What do you think it is? Here's what I want to tell you is they have a desire. They have a desire to achieve that result. And what we call them in Wealthy You is winners. And WIN is the acronym. And so W stands for want. They want to achieve financial independence. And so that want, the letter is W, right? But here's the most important thing. The second letter in WIN is I. And they really know that it is up to them. And then finally, no excuses is in. You see, some people find a fault, right? Find faults. And some people find a way. And so if you consider yourself a winner, then the one thing that I want you to do is I want you to join the 5-day Savvy Money Makeover Challenge. Just register, okay? Register today so that you are ready to hit the ground running on Monday. Now, here's the other thing. One of the other things we have done, right, if you really have a desire and you want to get a jump start even before Monday, then one of the things that I want to encourage you to do is to also, when you register, sign up for our Savvy Money Success Toolkit. Now, in the Savvy Money Success Toolkit, there are all kinds of resources, right, that are specifically reserved for our Wealthy You society members that you're going to get access to it, right? So you're going to make a small investment, nothing significant, literally. You could not even go out to dinner and have a drink for what this investment is going to cost you, right? But within that Savvy Money Success Toolkit, here's what I want to tell you. We have a special training, and that training is the secret of financially successful women. And here's all I want you to know is that when I wrote the book A Purse of Your Own that was published by Simon and Schuster, by the way, which is the framework for our curriculum in Wealthy You, the thing that I identified was the attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors of financially successful women. And in the Savvy Success Toolkit, that training is in the Savvy Success Toolkit, along with the workbook. A workbook that is going to give you insight into all the training that I just described that we're going to go over during the challenge, but also that is going to challenge you around your attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors around money. I shared with you our framework in Wealthy You is mindset, strategy, and execution. But we spend a lot of time on mindset, and here's why. Is that literally everything that we have been taught about how to achieve financial success, all of us have been running for that middle class, right, American dream. And that middle class American dream is not designed to help you achieve financial independence. It is not. That middle class American dream is really designed for you to spend every dime you have and not create intergenerational wealth. And so the reason why it is so important to focus on mindset is because you are literally going to be deprogrammed, because everything that you've been told about achieving financial success is obsolete. And not only is it obsolete, it was never really designed to help you achieve financial independence. So agree or disagree with me on that. So here's what I want you to know. Is many of you did everything you were told, myself included. You know, I didn't come from wealth, but my parents' dream for me was that I would go further ahead than they did financially. And so that roadmap that I was given was to get that college degree, girl, and get as much education as you can. Get that six-figure income. Buy that big house, right? Get with that company, the best company you can, and you're going to have that great 401k plan and pension, and you're going to be set for life. You're going to have what I didn't have. And you know, running for that career, did it, six figures by the time I think I was really, really young, right? Management career, managed the West Coast for a huge investment company. But here's the secret that I did learn in my career. The fact that I stumbled into the investment industry for one of the largest and now one of the largest global investment companies in the world gave me access to the insight of how real wealth is built. And what I learned was it was totally different than anything that I had ever been exposed to. And finally, what I learned was that real wealth was not gained by having this middle class mindset, right? That wealth is spent in a generation and it's designed to do that. That real wealth is built by not being an earner, by being an owner. And you can be an owner not just by owning a business. You can also be an owner by investing in those companies. And that's when I got exposed to very, very wealthy people investing in very early stage companies that none of us are ever exposed to when they're like the PayPals before they go public, or the companies. Once a company goes public, a lot of the money, that is a liquidity event, and that is when the money is made. Are y'all hearing me? And so what I want you to understand is that because we weren't exposed to that knowledge, it has put us at an economic disadvantage. And the only way to gain advantage, right, is to acquire the most valuable asset of all. And that asset is the knowledge of how to create wealth. Are you guys listening to me here? Is this making sense to you? And so if it is making sense to you, that's why I want you to join the 5-day Savvy Money Makeover Challenge, because that is when you'll be exposed to the ideas that I'm speaking with you about. But it's not just the 5-day Savvy Money Makeover Challenge is designed to help you, teach you how to build your first investment portfolio to 7 figures and beyond. And so this is not theory. This is really helping you to do an assessment of where you are right now, give you exposure into what it means to accelerate your financial growth, because that really is the secret. It's not just making money, it's making that money grow, and then giving you exposure into how a portfolio is actually built. Well, the other exciting thing is not only are we going to build a 7-figure investment portfolio, but you're also going to meet some amazing women who, like I said, had joined the Wealthy You, had maybe joined a 5-day Savvy Money Makeover Challenge, and now they are building their investment portfolio, and they've seen their investments go from 6 figures to double that, to 3 times that. And here's what I want you to know: if they can do it, you can do it too. But the other thing, you know what? I think I buried the lead, as my my husband, the journalist, would say. And by that, I mean that when you join this challenge, guess what else you're going to have? You're going to have a Wealthy You ambassador assigned to you. And that Wealthy You ambassador's goal is really to make sure you get the full benefit of this 5-day Savvy Money Makeover Challenge, because the cool thing about the ambassadors is they were sitting in your shoes at one time, and they have followed me for years, or they have went to 1 or 2 or 3 challenges, and then they actually joined the Wealthy You either coaching or Wealthy You Society, and they experienced it for themselves. And so these amazing, amazing women are going to be there to support you. And here's what I tell them, right? Is like, our ambassadors are really, really excited. And they're excited because they have seen their own lives change, and they have had their own they've experienced their own financial transformation. Many of them have refinanced homes, bought homes, maxed out their 401ks, building investment portfolios. And so they're very excited, and they want it for you too. But don't be afraid, people. I tell them that, come on, guys. It's, I make this analogy is, like, how when you first got saved, or you went to church and you wanted everybody else to be saved too, and so you wanted to bring them to your church. I can remember our kids telling us that we kidnap people because we love our church, and we still attend that same church today. But what can happen is, if you get too excited, what do people get scared? They get scared. And so I often tell our Wealthy You ambassadors, hey, don't be too excited with folks. Just invite them to the 5-day Savvy Money Makeover, or invite them to our Wealthy You Wind Down. Let them experience Wealthy You, and experience and develop the kind of relationships that the amazing women in Wealthy You have developed. And and there's nothing more gratifying than being with a group of women who are like-minded and are on the have the same aspirations and goals that you do. And so we spend a lot of time in Wealthy You celebrating our wins. Want to invite you to come to one of our Wealthy You Wind Down Wednesdays when we invite our Wealthy You members to come and really talk about some of their wins, no matter how big and no matter how small. And lastly, you know, one of the things that I wanted to say about our 5-day Savvy Money Makeover Challenge is a couple of things. And that is, if you show up every day and you are committed, one of the things that I know is that in those 5 days can make a significant impact on how you view your financial situation and how you know, most women come out of that challenge with a real mindset shift because so much of what they have been taught will have been challenged, but after they feel challenged by it, the other thing they feel is a sense of relief. Now, why is that important? That's important because there is nothing like doing all you can and yet you're still not getting ahead and you don't understand why. And so my promise and commitment to you, and the reason that I started Wealthy You, and the reason that we have 5-day Savvy Money Makeover challenges, is really designed to counter a lot of the thinking that we have been given over time, and yet we're wondering, we're looking to our left, we're looking to our right, and we're seeing other people get ahead, and we're wondering why we're not, right? I mean, that is the truth of it. And the reason that we're not is because we were given a roadmap that wasn't designed to achieve what we most desire. And that really is financial security, or even more than that, it's financial liberation, right? Agree or disagree with me? So we know in Wealthy You that a lot of the insights and the knowledge that we give are things that people haven't heard before. And, you know, not that it's rocket science, it's not. It's just that we weren't exposed to it because it was hidden. But it was hidden in plain sight. And it's not like we didn't desire it or try to gain access to it. And I want you to get this. And this is really where I want to end this tonight. That one of the things that I had no idea that was happening is that many of you were reaching out to these financial institutions, and you were coming in and you had significant access. I don't care if it was 10, 20, 30, 50, $100,000, whatever the amount of savings that you had. And you did ask for help. And you did know that there were probably other things that you could invest in that would give you a higher return. But because you didn't have that access, you weren't given it. And so here's what I want you to understand, everybody listening, is that financial ignorance is expensive. It is. And that when you begin to understand how to actually evaluate and assess investment opportunities, then it gives you agency and it gives you power. So this knowledge this is more than money. This is power. And I want to leave you guys with this because one of our Wealthy You Goal models, and I call our Wealthy You Goal models our women in Wealthy You who we interview about their transformation, and then they become, an aspirational role model or goal model for other women to aspire to achieve. So one of our Wealthy You Goal models, Tamika Smith, I was interviewing her during one of our master classes, which we typically do every 3-4 months, a one-day event. And I was interviewing her, and she said something that almost took my breath away. But I could see it, and I could see it, and it really validated that I was on the right path myself. And she said, once I learned, I was in the dark. That's what she said. I was in the dark. And she said, and then once I learned, everything became clear to me. And then she said this, and it floored me, but it is so true. She said, I walk into rooms differently. Now, what did she mean by that? She means she walks into rooms differently because she can understand with confidence what is being said in those rooms. And so, as I invite you once again to join the 5-day Savvy Money Makeover Challenge, that's exactly what I want for you. The ability to be able to walk in any rooms, whether you're in your company's boardroom, whether you've been asked to sit on a committee that has to do with finance, whether you're going for a job, because by the way, she actually was able to apply for a job that had to do with her being the host of a fintech newscast, right? So that's what she meant by walking into rooms differently. Ladies, that is my wish for you. And all you have to do is register for our free 5-day Savvy Money Makeover Challenge. And I say it with confidence that your life will never be the same after you join. And with that, it is right at 9 o'clock. I hope you enjoyed our Wealthy You Wind Down. I hope you'll sign up for our 5-day Savvy Money Makeover Challenge. Don't forget to download the Black Star Network app where our new show will be launching, and also be on the lookout for our new commercial talking about our programs airing around the country. And don't forget to join our Wealthy You community as well. So I'm Deborah Owens, founder and CEO of Wealthy You, also known as America's Wealth Coach, where we teach women how to build their first investment portfolios to 7 figures and beyond. You can learn more about Wealthy You by going to wealthyu.com. You can go into my bio, my profile, and learn about all of our free resources. But I really, really want to make sure you join our 5-day Savvy Money Makeover Challenge that starts on January 10th, and your life will never be the same because you're going to learn how to build your first investment portfolio to 7 figures and beyond.